JV with the one and only Matt Mitrione, who you didn't see it. He was just rapping a little bit.
I just laced it down a little bit.
I mean,
you know?
can we see it? Can we hear it now?
I mean, whenever I get asked to do a microphone check, whenever we had to grab one, I mean, I get out there and I drop a little bit of old school Tribe, a little bit of Fushnikin sometimes, just a little something to make sure that they're paying attention.
So microphone check. Can we get a microphone check from Matt Mitrione?
I mean, it's like microphone check 1 2. What is this? I float on the mic like a roughneck business. I float like gravity. Never had a cavity. Got more rhymes than the water's got family. And that's, I can get deeper on it, but I just choose not to.
And you and I were also talking right before this about Shia LaBeouf, and you and I have respect for that freestyle that he did, Shea 45 with Sway, and then your friends are saying not so good.
You know, we were in the car, and I was like, and I told my guy, Bud, my training partner, the Clip Blaster 3000. I told him about it, and I was like, hey, hey, did you ever hear about Shia LaBeouf on Sway?
I don't think it's LaBeouf.
Whatever, la nerd. So I was like, did you ever hear about him? And he's like, no. So I put it up there, and these two just haters in the crowd over
Haters
here,
in the crowd.
Haters in the crowd were like, that was nothing.
I thought it was amazing.
He laid it down. He laced it.
But you heard word that it was written?
I mean, between you and me.
Yeah. No one's watching this.
It wasn't
Shia
off the top.
LaBeouf did not do it off the top.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get to the fight in just a second. Not just any fight. Bellator 172 this Saturday. Valentine's Day, do you celebrate?
I don't actually make it a habit to leave town whenever Valentine's Day comes up. And
If this goes well, you and I movie?
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Okay.
I put out on the first date.
Yeah.
You got to buy popcorn.
Well, hey, it's going to be worth it. You said you're in shape. You're all ripped up. You're ready. Some of the ladies said, hey, can we get a shirtless pose? You said this is the best time for it.
This is the best time for it, and I happen to leave my modesty back in Indiana, so let's do this.
Now, by the way, now that you're with Bellator, which, by the way, Scott Coker and I, we go back 20 years. Good friend of mine.
Really good dude.
You guys are going to love one another, working together as business partners and all that. He support the hell out of you.
Yeah, I've noticed that already. Yeah. It's a stark contrast from where I used to be.
Hear that
now.
from everybody.
Yeah, and it's cool, man. And you know, the thing is, like, a lot of it is the input. They really, like their motto is fighters first.
Yeah.
But I really do believe that. Like, they ask you questions. They want to know your feedback. They want to know how you were treated in this situation or that situation, or what would be better or more ideal for you. And I respect that.
Bellator and Scott behind it. I mean, he's always been that way. He can have you in an ironclad contract where you only fight for him. But if you go, Scott, I actually need to leave and go do this because it's for me, he'd be like, I'm here for you. That's just the kind of guy he is.
He's a really good dude. I haven't experienced that. Hopefully I don't have to.
Yeah.
But good dude.
So why not just move out here? I mean, this is such a great place to live, and Bellator's right here, and you guys do your business?
You know, man, I come from a red state, so I got to be a little bit careful. And honestly, like, I've got 3 babies back at home, Jacob, Jonah, and Gia. What's up? Hi, babies. And everything in my life is based around there. And plus, like, I'm a Midwestern guy.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, like,
so you don't think you'd fare well out here? All the liberal hippie stuff?
You know, the liberal hippie stuff throws me off a wee bit. I mean, I'm a tree hugger. I'm a true hillbilly in all senses, but I'm rather conservative in a couple of aspects. Yeah. And I don't know how well I'd balance out. Gotcha. But I was with the 49ers for a cup of coffee in 2004.
How does this work? I mean, you're at the Super Bowl and, you know, you hang out with celebs and stuff. Do you put a call into them? Do they notice you?
You know, honestly, man, the biggest thing, so I played in the NFL, right? So I know a lot of those people because I came up with them, especially the guys that are in advertising or announcing now. Excuse me. But a lot of times you have a lot of anonymity in the NFL, right? Because you have a helmet on, you're one of 22 people on the field. But for me in fighting, everybody's ever seen you work has looked at your nipples. So, I mean, it's a pretty intimate go. And so everybody can see you and be like, ooh, I've seen his nipples before. You know, like, or they can see whatever. So I get out there and I'm half naked in front of 7 million people and God.
Yeah.
So people pick you out a lot more out of the crowd for sure.
Yeah. Bellator 172 is this Saturday, SAP Center. You can watch it on Spike. I suggest if you can get a ticket, get inside. I mean, this is history. Fedor, before you were selected to this fight, what was your opinion of him? What was your thoughts? I mean, most of us are like, oh my God, it's Fedor, the legend.
Well, you know, I believe that to keep it 100, I believe that I still have that impression of him, but that won't affect me at all from punching him in his face and getting my money. But the biggest thing is that I asked for fights like this when I came over to Bellator. I said, hey, look, in this situation, if I'm going to fight for Bellator, I want to fight Fedor. I want to fight, these names.
Yeah.
And it didn't look like Fedor was an option or a possibility. So as a result, I said, look, if he ever comes back, I want to be his first fight back. I want to be the guy who welcomes him back around. And that's not a call out. That's respectful. Like, look, I want to test myself against the best that's ever been. Yeah. And Fedor's the GOAT. So GOAT, let's get down. And
you have that. People know that about you and UFC as well. You're like, just give me the best. I don't want any soft fights. Was there ever a fight that you took that you regretted? Like, I shouldn't have done that.
No, there's never a fight that I took that I should have regret, that I did regret. But there is a situation in which my last fight in the UFC was against a guy named Travis Brown, and I got poked pretty nasty in my eyes twice when I was like, I have a certain attack that I do on certain situations, and I had been in the middle of that attack 2 different times, and both times I did it, he poked me in my eyes pretty badly. I should have put my nuts away and been like, hey, be smart right now. This is not an ideal. You can't fight the best in the world with one eye. You can't do it. It's not going to work. I'm impaired from something I should have stopped. But in the heat of the moment, man, like I'm going. I'm here to win. I'm here to play for blood. So let's get down. And I should have not done that. And I should have, in my opinion, there should have been some other parameters, like a referee that should have stepped in and been like, "You already said you can't see. Cut that stuff."
That was hard to look at. I still see photos. It's like,
dude, when I got out of the hospital, man, when I got out of the hospital about 4 hours later, they just seen that my orbital was broken. And my eyelid was all pregnant and puffed out. And I got out, and the first thing I saw was a meme in all Arabic. I was like, damn, man, like, there you go. Across the world, I made it, Ma.
How do your babies look at dad? Like, they can't see dad like that. I mean, do you shelter them from that? And your love interest. Are you married, by the way?
No, I'm not. I'm divorced.
But if you have a love interest.
Divorced.
Yeah. I mean, is that tough for them to see someone they love so much like that?
It's for the babies, I call them the babies, but they're not babies, but they're my babies, Right. I had a vasectomy, so they're all my last babies, So what's up, ladies? So anyways.
What's up? What a pickup line. What's up, ladies? Been snipped. That turns the girls on.
It's money. It's solid. It works. Yeah. Trust me. It's not worth your time. So anyways, where was I going?
Your babies, your kids, and seeing you that way.
Seeing the fight. Well, how did I go into that segment? That's pretty rough, huh?
You got ladies on your mind.
Yeah, for sure. Valentine's Day. It's the way it works. Yeah. So like for my kids, it's they watch it. They've never been to a live event except for my oldest, Jacob. My last fight was in England, and we were going to go to Scotland, Ireland, Iceland afterwards. We had a vacation planned. So he came to the fight, and as a matter of fact, I actually have a picture. I'll tweet it to you later on. But I'm fighting like over in the foreground here, and he's turned sideways with his side to the cage, like not wanting to watch it, like just nervous during the fight.
Yeah.
And it's a really powerful picture. And I wouldn't have wanted him even at the fights period, but I couldn't leave an 11-year-old or a 10-year-old at the hotel for 4 hours while I'm going to get ready. So he had to come, but that's the only time and if I'm dating somebody at the time, I don't want that person at the fights. I don't want people that I love, like in my life, I don't want them at the fights because it's a savage, bloodthirsty crowd.
Right.
And as soon as you start leaking or like you're on the ground, you're getting mauled, that crowd's gonna light up for more blood.
Right.
And I would be more concerned about them being away from that environment and having to hear the jeers and cheers of blood and whatever else, the bloodlust that's there. And they wouldn't be able to get away from it, and that would affect me more.
Talking with Matt Mitrione once again, Bellator 172. You mentioned the crowd. Have you ever done anything for the fans that you regretted? Like, I did that for them. I mean, I wanted to please them because I'll do that a lot in radio, and I've made radio career decisions like, I don't want to let the fans down. And later on, I'm like, I should have done this for me. That would have been better in the end.
No, I mean, I'm actually remarkably selfish. So no, like,
well, that's good.
Yeah, when it comes to my career, I don't do that. And there's things that like I'll just no, I'm not, I don't want to do that, or no, I won't do that. And for example, like when I argued with the UFC about certain things, or I'm asked questions about certain things, I would answer very honestly, be like, no, I don't think this is right for this reason. This is the reason why, and blah blah blah. Yeah. And there would be a lot of situations in which people would be like, oh, you know what, you just need to go fight for free because you love it. I'm like, go to hell, guy. This is my job. Would you go to work for free because you enjoy your job? No way. I pay bills this way. And I'm taking a chance every time I fight, every time I perform, I'm taking a chance of never coming back the same again.
Right.
I'm taking a chance of being different for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And so I need to get reimbursed for that. I need to get paid for that appropriately, where I feel that the risk is worth the reward.
Right.
And so we would argue about that, like UFC and like the positioning and them taking our sponsor money and them, like imposing rules on this guy versus on this guy, like things that were just totally subjective that they could do whatever they wanted to do. By the way, how's my vocabulary today? I mean, I just lay those words down.
That's on point. I mean,
I'm like a verbal chef.
And that's actually what the girls want, rather than the vasectomy. They're impressed by the tongue, by the smooth tongue,
by the Clip Blaster 3000.
Right. That's an inside joke. The Clip Blaster 3000. It's a Valentine's Day special. His boy's working. So also at Bellator 172, making his Bellator debut, Josh Koscheck. Thoughts on him?
I think Josh Koscheck is, first of all, he's an OG, right? Been around the game for a hot minute.
Yeah.
He's had some health stuff. He's had some stuff going on where he wasn't able to get in when he wanted to. I think he's been out for a minute, but I think that Josh is a guy that has so much fire in his soul as far as competition that there's nothing that he would allow himself to do other than perform at his highest level.
Right.
If it was, he wouldn't compete. He wouldn't perform.
You were just talking about before we started this lineup. Can you mention some of the other fights?
Dude,
this lineup is huge.
Is madness, right? Like you have Josh Thompson, the punk, who's no punk whatsoever. He's incredibly adept at everything he does, which is really impressive. He's fighting a guy named Mitrione Pitbull, who's a damn good fighter in himself, right? And then you've got Josh Koscheck. You've got Chet Congo, who actually I lost to back in the day, but now he doesn't even fight anymore. He just lays around and tries to get dudes pregnant. And then he's fighting a guy that I just fought, Ollie Thompson. I fought him in London.
Insane night.
Yeah, and then me versus Fedor, the GOAT. The GOAT guy. I get to fight the GOAT. How great is that?
So do you want to know what people online are saying? There's been different sites, people voting on who they think is going to win.
Yeah, let me hear it.
Do you care to know?
No, it's
they're taking you.
Actually, that surprises me because the GOAT has so much respect worldwide.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And people are still taking you. It's, 55% to 245.
I'll tell you what, this fight's going to be like a one-night stand. Come out aggressive, hard, and letting it fly. There's not going to be any kind of feeling out process whatsoever. Fedor
I love it.
So that's how it goes,
yes.
right? It's going to be aggressive and assertive. He comes out, he establishes his position very quickly, and he's very aggressive. He jumps into everything he does, very, very physical. Me, I'm long, athletic, aggressive, and I've got mad power. I throw lunch boxes. So if he's at the end of my punches when they land, I'm trying to put him to sleep. I don't get paid by the punch. I'm trying to put him to bed early, buddy.
Nice. Looking forward to it. Bellator 172, Matt Mitrione. He's the online voted favorite taking on, he's a legend, Fedor Emelianenko. One final question.
Yeah.
I feel like you taking him out, this helps solidify you as a legend in the game as well. I think you're already there, but I think you taking him out, it's going to add one more piece to your legacy.
I'm far from a legend.
I don't know. A lot of people would disagree with that.
I feel that the opportunity to fight the GOAT and beat the GOAT will do a tremendous amount for my legacy. My legacy, in my perspective, is that I've had some really interesting, fun fights to watch, and I don't ever give up. I'm persistent, and I don't believe in quitting. But I've never succeeded when the cards were on the table, when the money was on the table. Like the biggest fights I haven't won them. I've had good fights in them, but I haven't won them. So this is my time to start changing that tide, and I'm going to beat the GOAT, and I'm going to steal all his legacy that he's worked decades to take.
You can see that on Spike, but I suggest once again, get inside SAP Center this Saturday. Some of the tickets starting at only $30 through Ticketmaster. Matt Mitrione.
Hey, thanks, brother.
Thank you. We're going to go do our Valentine's together now, huh?
Let's do it. I'm going to take my shirt off here in a minute.